Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Roshan and today we are going to see different JavaScript coding standards that we can use while doing the coding. So there are a lot of standards and the coding conventions we should follow while writing the code. Let's look at these things. So first is where to use the double equal to or triple equal to. So guys, always try to use the triple equal to because it will check the value along with its type. So don't go for this one, instead of go for this one. The another one is use the let instead of the var. This is why, because when you use the var, then the scope of this variable will be into the entire program, but if you use the let, then the scope of this variable will be the blockwise. So don't go for this one, go for this one. Use const instead of let. So whenever we want to define a constant, it's good practice to define it with the const keyword. This is because the other guys or we cannot change its value in the program. So don't go for this, instead of go for this using the const. Always use the semicolon. See guys, JavaScript is very loosely typed language, so it don't impose such a conditions, but it's always best practice to use the semicolons in the JavaScript. What are the naming conventions we should follow in the JavaScript? So let's say we are using the let. So with the let we declaring the variables. With the variables we can use the camel case. For example, this one. So let school name equal to ABC. If we are defining the constants, best practice to use the uppercase neck case like this one, GST%. So I am giving here. While defining the class, we can use the Pascal case, which is same as we are doing in the Java. So whenever we are declaring the functions, then we can use the camel case. So like this one, get name. Use the template literals when concatenating strings. So like instead of using this one, we can simply use this one. So it's like cleaner code and we don't have any ambiguity while doing this. But one thing is, check the browser compatibility because sometimes Internet Explorer don't support these template literals. Guys, there is a new feature into ES6 which is arrow functions. So while writing a simple function, go for arrow function, which is in a single line you can have this function, and it is the good functional programming paradigm that is available, and we should take its leverage. Use default parameters wherever it's possible, because friends, when we are defining the parameters, if we don't give the default value like this, then it will consider this as undefined. So it's always better to give some value. So this is correct approach and this is not. Always use named exports because always we use something like export default class, but at the time of importing these modules, it has to give the name to the values. So instead of that, you can give this one, export class, and don't use the defaults. Do not use wildcard imports because it will import each and everything from that file. So instead of that, if you want to import some of the functions, you can simply go for this one and not for this one. Use shortcuts for the booleans because what we do, even though we can check this one like this, if it is true, false, but we can do it in a simpler way, that is this one. If is valid, if it's not valid, it's from the readability perspective, it is good idea to use this one. try and avoid the unneeded ternary statements. So guys, we used to with the ternary operator pair, but we should avoid it when it's necessary, like this one. So we can simply convert this into A or B. So why to use this one, which is complicated? Only use one variable per declaration. Even though JavaScript allows a declaration into comma separated way, but instead of going this, you can go this way, which is simpler and anyone can easily read it. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please do subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed, and press the bell icon to never miss the updates.